Hi, good morning, everybody. We're going to just let a couple more people join in,
Good
and
morning,
we should
Jerry. Good
start
morning.
about 2 minutes or so. Ideally, we're going to lay out some ground rules, and then we'll get everybody going on about your days.
Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Good morning. Thank you so much for jumping on, showing some
Thank
support.
you for putting this together.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, get everybody um, informed here, and then we'll let everybody carry on their Friday. We know how busy everybody is. All right, everybody, to 10:01. We'll start at about 10:03 and just kind of get everything going here. Good, definitely got a good amount of participants. I love it. All right, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to begin. So we're definitely recording this, so we'll be able to send this off to anybody that could not either join us or was too busy, or as people kind of continue to come in the room, we can always forward the recording over to them. So just first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for kind of joining us on our webinar here. We're extremely excited to let you know about our Transaction Desk platform. I'm going to go through a couple PowerPoint slides really quickly, just to kind of lay out some ground rules and some support emails. Then we'll jump into live demo. And then ideally, we should have everything covered. We've done these enough where I think we're encompassing everything that you as our escrow partners might inquire about. Ideally, I think we should be covering it. So I'm going to jump right into our second slide. So if everybody can take note of this actual email. So this email is really, really important. The reason is this will be your lifeline for getting set up. And if there is ever any support needs or further training when it comes to our form, right? So we've set up an entire team in place that is extremely well versed in our actual platform. So at the conclusion of our webinar, we will need an email from every single one of you here to this email here, just basically letting us know I'm ready to get set up. And then we'll go ahead and have our team automatically email you over your credentials. So you can go in there and start, playing with the platform itself, and then, potentially submitting orders. So that email here, and then we'll go ahead and email this to all of our participants here, just, as a reminder once we end. And secondly, basically the goal for our presentation today is really just showcase Transaction Desk and really make the lives of our escrow partners a little bit easier. We know all of you are busy. You guys are jumping from transaction to transaction. So ideally, we hope what we show you today can really make your interactions with us so much easier. So with that said and done, This is Transaction Desk here is what you can see. I'm going to go ahead and log in as one of our escrow partners. So this actual URL, I'm going to go ahead and have this emailed to all of you. So you guys have what the URL will be along with your credentials. So if you do have any questions, please put those into the chat. Our moderator will kind of look at them and then feed them into me, and then we'll address them towards the end. So as you can see, most of you, I'm going to enter this now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit login. So purposely at the moment, we are not requiring a password for our users. And we do that because I get it, right? How many more passwords do we need to remember? Like, it can be a pain. So up until now, we're really not requiring our users to enter a password. If you would like a password, we can just activate the password on your account and you'll have that extra level of security. So what you are looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is our transaction desk platform. So as you can see, we really made a really simple interface with huge big buttons like you would an iPhone, right? Like an iPad, right? Why are they so successful with 5 and 6 year olds? Because the buttons are big, they're bubbly. You can go in there and you can find ideally what you want, what you need, and then you can get right out. So I'm going to give you kind of a quick tour and then I'm going to go into an example of each. So here is a new title order. So that's where you'd be able to funnel in all of your transactions, your order requests that you'll be doing with Pacific Coast Title. Here is where you can instantly generate a CPL. Here, for those of us that require a proposed insured on the transaction, you can generate it here. Here, you can get fee estimates. Here, we'd be able to review all of our prelims. And then for all of our lender clients and credit union clients that do require policies and a copy of the policy, here is ideally where you'd be able to kind of go in there and grab that policy. So below will give you all of your recent orders along with the property address, the date it was open, the status, your order number, and then whether the prelim is actually ready for review or if it's not ready and it's still in production. Okay, so these are really all of the functions that we've laid out that, from countless interactions with our escrow partners is, guys, this is exactly what I need. I know a lot of our competitors have different, UIs and platforms, and we're just like, listen, we want to just make things as easy as possible for our escrow partners. So everything really relies around opening an order. So I'd like to show each and every one of you how easy it is to open up an order, but more importantly, how we've used a little bit of AI along with document pulling to get you exactly what you need. So when you jump in, you're already going to see that we already know who you are. So that is going to eliminate any order entry of your information, right? Then you can kind of see all the other information that really needs to be inputted, right? And again, I want to show you exactly how we used a little bit of technology to save you time in inputting all this information. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to enter this specific property address in the city of Laverne. So all you do is hit the property search button. Okay, that's gonna go ahead and that's gonna find the property. As you can see, it already found the APN, the address. We're gonna hit choose. So now what it's doing is it's retrieving all of the information such as the APN, the street address, the county, the brief legal description, and the current owners, right? So we've already bypassed having to type all this information in, right? Quickly, just like that, we use a little bit of technology to kind of populate that information in. Now, really, we just have to enter a few pieces of the details for the transaction and then include whomever we'd like to receive a copy of this order confirmation, right? So as you can see here, you'll be able to find a list of all of our sales reps. Now, for those of you that work with multiple reps, obviously you can select the one that you'd like to for the transaction. For those of you that specifically and exclusively work with one of our title reps, we can just have that automatically populate. So there, anytime you're in there, boom, their name will automatically be selected there. Same goes for the title officer, right? If it's Rachel, if it's Eddie, if it's Clive, or if it's Jean down in orange, we can automatically have them selected for you. So again, right, just ways that we're doing to kind of really streamline the open order process, help you get that in, and then have us begin working on it. Now, products, as you can see here, we have an array of different products. So for most of you, you will always deal with the sale title only outside escrow, right? So that's the main product that you guys will choose. And again, once we get you guys set up, we're going to go ahead and consistently remind you, hey, these are the products you need to be choosing when you're doing a sale, or if you're going to do a refinance with us. Obviously, it would be a loan title only outside escrow. So over time, we'll simplify this actual drop down list for everybody. Because again, right, we don't want to cause any confusion, but sale title only outside escrow ideally would be 99% of the transactions that you'll be doing with PCT. So then from there, really, we're just going to enter a sales price of 810,000. So obviously on a real estate transaction or sale, sometimes we don't really have a loan amount, right? Because we're still probably just looking for a prospective buyer. So you can either enter what you think the loan amount would be, or a lot of our clients just enter pretty much $10. This, as the transaction begins to mature, will update. And then again, everything on your side will reflect that once you start working on the transaction, letting our TOs know, letting our rep, hey, the loan amount now has changed, we found a buyer. So in the event that again we do not have a buyer, we can put generic buyer, okay, when we don't have one. This will allow you to move forward. Now, secondary buyer, escrow number, loan number are not required, but for those of us that you do have your internal escrow numbers, you can just pop that in here. I'm just going to go ahead and make one up just like that. Deliverables. Well, deliverables are great, right? For those of us that have an assistant, or maybe the assistant is opening the order on your behalf. So here you're able to add any specific deliverables that you like. You can add up to 10 or 11 people on there, and it will automatically save them. So if you like to CC the same amount of people every single time you open up an order, our system, again, using AI, recognizes that, and it'll auto-populate that for you. Again, right? We're here to try to make the jobs of our escrow partners that much easier. Now, if you did want to add an agent, you can add a buyer's agent to the transaction. You can buy a listing. You can add a listing agent. So again, we have a large database of a lot of the clients that we work with, and a lot of the clients you begin to enter will begin to be saved there. So as you can see, you'll be able to type in just a few letters of their name, and then it will actually find them, right? So I'm going to uncheck that. Same goes for a lender, right? So for example, we have a large database of lenders that we work with. So you can start by typing in just a few pieces of either the company name or the actual email, and it'll help you find a lender. So let's say, just for the sake of our transaction here, we're not going to add a lender. We're not going to add any agent details. Here, if you wanted to upload a real estate purchase agreement, you can just do that and it'll attach it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the submit button. Okay. So what it's going to do now is it's kind of wrapping up all this information. It's going to start communicating with our internal production system. Okay. So now this is going to take exactly about 21, 22 seconds. And the funny part is we're all going to see how long 21 to 22 seconds now is compared when we get everything practically instantly on our phone. So what's happening is it's actually retrieving the most recent legal investing, it's retrieving the most recent taxes, and the most recent copy of a grant deed. So it's grabbing all this information and bingo, just as you see it on the screen, it's providing that for you. So I'm going to go here and show you exactly what we're looking at the moment. So we're looking at an order number, which is a live order number. You'd be able to pick the phone up right now, call one of our CS people or call one of the units, and see if that order number is in there. They'll be able to pull that up instantly within our production system. Here, you're going to get a brief legal, and then you're going to get the vesting, right? So obviously now there's no more emails of, hey, open an order, please send me over legal investing when you can, right? On busy days, why would we need to wait when you can just get it done and grab it instantly just like that? Here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give you the first installment and the second installment of the taxes. We're going to give you the due date, when it was paid, what the current status is. So let's say maybe you're like, no, Jerry, that's wonderful, but I'd like to take a look at copies of the document myself. Am I able to look at it? Absolutely. Let's just go ahead and hit the download LV button. So you hit that button and it's going to go ahead and it's going to bring up a document on the screen just like you see here, where we're now seeing, right, the express legal investing. Those are our assessed owners. Here's your full legal description. Here's the vesting information that was shown, along with the most recent deed. So I want you to take note of the actual document number, right, ending in 1396. So we go over and we look at download a most recent copy of the grant deed. Click on that. Let's open that up. Okay, and as you can see, document ending in 1396, right? So everything is using AI. We're double and triple checking all of the documents that we're pulling. So now you'd be able to see a copy of the most recent grant deed instantly, right? So again, we've now empowered our escrow partners, which is like everything is now at your fingertips. Same goes with the tax document, right? If you want to go ahead and pull up that tax document, it's going to show you that. We're going to go and get all of the breakdown, okay? The regional code, how all of the taxes are associated, any fees, and then things of that nature. So all the sheets that typically you have to wait for a CS department to do, now we've really empowered you to be able to grab that information by yourself. So ideally, I'd like to show you what the notifications come up like is. So every order that's opened also generates a really nice notification, just like you see here. So all of the documents that I attached, let's see if I can zoom in on that for everybody. So all the documents that I attached are attached here. So that's your legal investing, your grant deed, and your copy of your taxes. So we give you the order summary there. We give you the property details. We include the tax information in the body of the email. Again, right? So this way you're getting everything right there, right in front of your eyes when you're looking at it. So even if, for example, and there's the escrow number that we entered. So if your title escrow assistant is the one that opened it, right, you're going to get this confirmation. You'd be able to see everything right off the spot. You're like, great, I see taxes are paid, no problem. If they're not, they were delinquent, then hey, you'd be able to see it right there on the spot and then take action. So these are just some of the things that we've thought of when building this platform for our escrow partners. So let's go back over to the dashboard. So ideally now we've funneled an order into PCT. Now I'd like to get some fees since I already got my legal investing, I got my grant deed. Let me get some fees and let me continue moving forward with my file. All you need to do is go over to the fee estimate side, and all of our platform works the exact same way, where you have to go ahead and just locate your file number or the street address. So obviously it's always going to be listed from the most recent to the oldest of transactions. All you really need to do is hit the get fees button, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to instantly generate a fee estimate for you. Okay, so in this one, since this is a test account, I just had it include other specific escrow fees, but you're going to get your policy, you're going to get your loan rate, you're going to get your recording fees, you're going to get your county and your city transfer. So again, this was a test one, so we included every single fee so you can see, but obviously, right, a city like Laverne would not have a city transfer tax. Those would be cities like Pomona, Culver City, other cities that have the city transfer tax on top of whatever the county transfer tax is. And then you have all of our associated fees that are estimated with a transaction. You can simply hit that download fee button, download that PDF, save it, pop it right into your file. So from there, ladies and gentlemen, we've opened up an order, we've gotten our fee estimate. So let's go ahead and let's talk about generating CPLs, right? Before in the past, it was email someone to get a CPL, or a lot of title companies as well as ourselves for quite some time now have gotten to where you can instantly generate it on your own, right? So you can just go ahead and click your generate CPL button. Again, right? It's gonna go ahead and it's gonna list all your files, very, very simple. And then you can be able to generate ones, edit ones, and you can show you, it'll give you actual dates. If you've already generated a CPL, it'll let you know when the last one was created. Then you can either re-download it or you can edit it again. To generate it, all you gotta do is hit this nice green button. Okay, it's gonna go and it's gonna give you a form like this. It's already pulled most of the stuff in from the file. But again, right, we have new lender and then we have existing lender. So again, right, we have a large database of lenders. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose one specifically here. And I'm going to say ABC clause, right? So to give us lender name, street address, property address, and then really all we got to do is just enter the loan amount and then whatever branch is it that we're working with. So we're just going to go ahead and hit the Glendale branch. We're going to go ahead and hit submit. Okay, so it's just going to go ahead grab that information and instantly generate a CPL for you, just like you saw that for that file number. You'd be able to download it, take a look at it as soon as it opens up for us right now. Bingo, there we go, right? So here is our actual CPL, right? With our ABC clause that we entered there, our file number, our loan number, our fictitious loan number that we just entered. So again, right, if you generate one and for whatever reason, you're like, you know what, hey, I missed a actual loan number, I missed something. All you ever need to do is just go back in there, hit the edit button. It's already going to have all the same information that you typed. So again, right, it's like, man, we want to make everybody's life so easy. We're not here to complicate anyone's life. So it's like, all you got to do is just update your loan amount, resubmit it, and it'll regenerate it for you instantly. So again, it's something that we just want to make everybody's lives a little bit easier. So now we've gone through opening an order, we've grabbed our fees, we've generated our CPL. So now let's talk about prelims, right? So here you'd be able to see whether your prelims are ready or not. So you can either click on the review prelim button up here, or you can go into the file itself down here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the review file button. So I want you to take a look at what we're seeing here. And again, this is a lot of information. So I'm going to kind of go through it thoroughly. And then hopefully I can cover all of your questions. So we give you your review here, your file number, what the address was, the vesting information, the property address, the type of policy, the order number, and the most recent date of the commitment. So in the commitment itself, and then the actual property type. So from here, we're going to go ahead and give you what we call our prelim hot items, right? So again, you'd be able to look at the prelim itself along with the linked docs, which we're going to do in just a second. But you can go to your property taxes and you can see all of the property taxes instantly from there. You'd be able to see any easements. You'd be able to see any liens and judgments. And then basically any requirements that are needed for that transaction to continue, move on, and close. So let's say you say, Jerry, that's wonderful. I like the prelim hot items, but really I'm one that I really do like to look at the prelim. I'd like to look at it myself. How can I do that? Simply just click on the prelim button here, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to bring that preliminary report right there for you, just like that, where you can go ahead and literally sort through that, look at the different pages, look at the different hyperlinks that are there. You can click on any of those hyperlinks. It'll bring that document up for you. You can physically download this. In addition to that, we've put all the actual hyperlink documents here under their same number, right? So for example, item 6 is letting us know this. We can go ahead, click on that item, and it'll bring it up for you right on the screen there. So again, right, these are just little things that we've done where we'd like to make your lives easier, where you don't have to be flipping through different pages. Everything is literally right there in front of you. In addition to that, we'll give you the legal investing and, for example, a copy of the actual plat map itself, so you can see where the property is. And then any documents that ideally are created when the order is created, or for example, that RPA that you uploaded right when you were creating your order, will all be provided here in the uploaded docs section. And then your order details are down here. So now let's talk about kind of some functionality, right? Where ideally, now we're in the file, now we've been in communication back and forth with our units. So let me give you an idea how ideally most teams work, right? Obviously, they all manage one box. And as requests come in, they have to just kind of continually work on it, right? So we internally have what we call queues, right? Where we have different teams of people that are dedicated for working in different steps of the transaction, kind of like you would like a chain supply, right? Like how cars are made, right? You focus on this, you focus on that. So let's say you needed an update on your prelim. Right now, typically what's done is either we get the sales rep involved or we get an email sent over to the unit, right? But if they're busy, then it means that unit can't open that email and get it over to the team that's actually going to handle the updating of the prelim. So let us show you how you can actually bypass that and get to the very front of the line with your update prelim request. So let's say you just all you got to do is hit the update prelim action. Okay, so as you can see here, You can add the subject, a note, and provide any documentation that's needed for the updating of that prelim, right? So if it's like, hey, we need to show proof and remove item 4, item 5, please do so. Here is the supporting documentation. You submit it using this form, boom, it gets pushed right to the front of the line, right? That means that's one less email, that's one less phone call, that's one less thing that you have to do to pick up and try to get somebody on the phone or try to wait on hold or any of those things, which typically is part of what we do in the industry, but sometimes can cause delays, right? You're busy, you're handling multiple files. So if we can do this here from here, it will completely streamline the way you communicate with our internal team. And by that, kind of in turn, allow us to provide you with a much quicker response and updated prelim. So that's something that we really definitely are pushing and encouraging a lot of our escrow partners to do. With that said, all right, so now we've covered title orders, we've covered our CPLs, and then so let's talk about get policy. So again, getting policy, you can go in there and you can kind of click on it. So you can see our entire platform, for the most part, works the same. We have our file numbers, we have our property address, and then ideally, once you locate those two, then you can go ahead and just grab what you might need. So from here, if you needed to get a policy, you can hit the get policy button. It's gonna ask you, do you need the owner's policy or do you need the lender's policy? You can instantly download that, save that, put that into your closing package, or for those of our lender partners, if they need that to put that in their file, they can instantly grab it from here. Now, the only other thing I believe that we would need to look at would be just, again, a proposed insured, and the proposed insured itself, again, you can kind of see the recurring theme, right? Which is great. Let me find my file number, confirm it's the property address, and then hit the button. I can go ahead and just enter the information. So as you can see here, right, most of this information was already entered in our CPL form. So it's just dragging everything over. So it's one less order entry that you might need to do, right? And then from there, we just go ahead and hit the submit button, and it should be able to instantly just generate our proposed insured just like that, right? So as you can see, right, we want to just minimize all potential order entry, communication delays, button and feature overload. Those are all things that collectively with interactions with our escrow officers, suggestions from our title officer, and of course suggestions from our talented sales team. We've come up with something that gets you in here, helps you find what you need, and then have you be on your way to kind of doing the important things, which is working on your files and closing transactions. So with that said, I know you guys are all busy. We definitely did kind of fly through this a little bit. I do not see any questions within the chat. Now, does anybody have any questions in regards to anything that they saw, or would you like us to go through an open order process one more time? Does anybody have any specific questions when it comes to any of this here?
Gary,
Yes.
so I just have a quick question. Is this, by the way, this is awesome. Thank you so much for doing this class and having this feature. I think it's awesome. Is the plan or goal also for us to be able to upload like SIs and documents for the team to look at here? Because I noticed you had to upload the RPA, which I generally don't send the RPA when I open the order, but I mean, if it helps you guys, I certainly can.
Right, right. Wonderful question. And that's kind of leading us to somewhere we're already headed. Yes. So this ideally is going to be just kind of a full communication platform where, yes, ideally, if you do have the SI up front when your transaction is open, beautiful. That's perfect. You can definitely upload it. There's the RPA. Or once the prelim is actually ready and shown, you can go within here to the update prelim action button. Basically say SI, something along the lines of please clear, and then attach the copy of the actual SI form that you had your clients fill out. So yeah, definitely we have those capabilities now. There's, I think, something coming a month from now, which we're really excited about, and that's going to be an automated SI thing, but we'll kind of cover that in an upcoming webinar. But that ideally is going to be something in addition to this that, again, will make the collection of SIs and getting that information over to our team so much easier.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I did get a question inside of from Michael Martinez. If we already have an open order, will it be transferred to this setup? Great question, Michael. It's already there. So again, the benefit of what you all are seeing now is this has actually been in place for the last 3 years. So our internal team has used this for the last 3 years. Our sales reps have been using this for the last 2. So we took our time to make sure it was perfected, functioned well before presenting it to a select group of people, which are the ones that are all joining us today. So any transaction that you have or have closed with in the past with us will appear in your dashboard. So yeah, definitely any old transactions, any new. In terms of getting people set up, I will kind of bring that email back up on the screen. But for those of us that, again, have teams, we can set up a parent account, which is the escrow officer themselves. If you guys have title assistants under you, escrow assistants, I should say, under you, who you prefer to open the order and you just want to receive the notifications, we set that up too, where we ideally have kind of one general account for the office, sub accounts for everybody who's opening. And even if you have 1 or 2 assistants, right, you still be able to see every single file that is opened. And again, we have added customizations where it's a specific rep that you always work with, they'll always be populated. A specific escrow title officer that you work with, they'll be populated. So again, all these little things that can be preset make all of your lives that much easier. Well, from a transaction perspective. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kind of bring our address back up here on the screen. So let's go. Survey says, here we go. So form support at pct.com. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pop that in the chat as well. So all we need from you is just say, please set me up. Obviously, we'll be able to recognize your email and then we'll get you set up. So ideally, most of you should receive your ready to go notifications by this afternoon. And then you can, when you get some time over the next week, start to kind of play with the transactions. This same email is going to be your lifeline for support. Like if maybe you went in it, and like I said, we've built it out where it's pretty self-explanatory, but ideally maybe you'd like us to take a 10-15 minute webinar with people on your team. We can definitely do that. So you would just email this email address there, say, hey, I'd like just like a recap on training, or hey, I have a question on CPLs, or hey, I pulled a CPL, I got this error, I got that. Our team will be standing by to help you out address that and then kind of go from there. So we definitely hope to hear from everybody, get you guys on the platform. And then from there, we're open to any suggestions, right? We're only as good as our clients. So ideally, whatever suggestions I'm sure that you guys will have, we'll take those into consideration, and it really all will just benefit everybody. So with that said, everybody, usually my webinars are pretty short, informative, and to the point. So if there are no more questions, I again would like to thank you, and I look forward to hearing from all of you. Great. Okay.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.